Hi, I'm Zach from Jimmy Eat World, and you're watching Aesthetic TV.
How slowly we built the walls, the years we piled on. I will steal you back.
A new touring member, Robin is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how does that sort of affect the band dynamic as opposed to when you play as a four-piece?
Well, there are some songs in the set that we play as a four-piece. For us, having Robin out with us allows us to cover things that, weren't covered before, or, so when we play a song that you've heard before on, in a live setting, with Robin, he's able to do additional instrumentation, additional vocal backups, and so it just makes the sound more rounded out and more full, and when you hear something on the album, it's going to sound more similar because of the extra person, and we can cover more parts.
So what would be some examples of them?
Well, one of the examples, all throughout the set, when we record on our records and stuff, Jim does a lot of his harmonies because he has a lot higher of a register than Tom does.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the high harmonies that happen on the record are all covered by Jim. Tom just has a lower register and can't quite cover those high notes. And so with the Robin, because he has a high register like Jim, he can hit all those things and allow Jim to sort of stay on the main vocal.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's just a better overall situation.
Okay. So with most of your, except for Chase the Slide, I guess, you've gone with photographs for your album covers. Mm-hmm. But this one you decided to go change it up with the design. Why? Mm-hmm. Why was that?
Well, there's really no specific sort of reason. We just every time we go along, we try to find something that fits. And we've always been drawn to having like a kind of a design or like an illustration or something like that, but it just never really worked or felt right. And a guy named Jason Noto, who he's done the design for the last few albums, from Chase the Slide on, came up with that design, and we felt like it really fit, the album's theme and the vibe of the album. So we thought it would be cool to use it, and it worked out well.
So what's the significance of the umbrella design? I
don't really think there's like a sort of direct significance. It's just there's just an overall kind of mood and feeling that the cover has that just kind of fits what we feel like the sort of there's a visual that kind of fits what you experience as you hear the record from our perspective. So I think that there's not really any. I think one of the things is if you have like an illustration that's too much of a direct kind of like connection, if it's too literal, then it can kind of it's not really that interesting. We felt like it was just an interesting cover because it sort of sets a mood, and it sort of does ask you the question of like, it sort of I don't know, it's sort of takes the convention of like an umbrella and sort of turns it around, and we thought that was kind of a cool thing.
So you, from your last album to this one, you've changed producers from Mark to Alan. Mm-hmm. What did Alan bring to the table in terms of production? Well,
Alan was, he's by far the best musician we've ever worked with. Just as a skilled musician, and he also had a lot of really great ideas about like we as a band, like us four guys, we work on a song, and a lot of times we sort of hit dead ends on songs, and we're like, okay, well, it's like 90% there, but there's that 10% that we just can't quite figure out, or we can't quite bring it across the finish line to the point where we feel like it's as good as it can be. And he was really good at giving us ideas, thinking of stuff that we weren't thinking of, to kind of really take it to make it kind of a full idea, a complete idea. So he just had a lot of great musical ideas. He also was very sort of relaxed, and didn't our kind of like, if you hang out with us in the studio, or we think a lot about what we're doing, and we analyze it kind of in a way, like we're sort of operating from our mind in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas Al is very much like a heart person. Like the language he uses is all about kind of like feel and sort of looking for those intangibles of a sound or a song to make it cool. And so I think that was really good for us. Like Al's personality is a personality that sort of contrasts ours as a band, and I think in a sense it was good, just because we didn't really worry about like little small mistakes, or the record sounds very human. It sounds very like performed, and a lot of that was his influence, just focusing on just what we're doing as musicians, and not sort of messing with that.
So it was more of a partnership in the studio.
Yeah, it's always a partnership when we're working with a producer. I mean, it's always a little bit of a partnership, and I think you have to go into it respecting and willing to learn from people.
Yeah.
And that's really one of the coolest things about making records is you're going in and learning from different people, and we've worked with different producers and have all sort of learned things from them. And every record you make, I feel like, at least for us, every record we make, we feel like we experience something new and learn something new that we can take to like the next record.
So you also experienced getting out of Arizona finally when you recorded this record, and that recorded in Alan's house in LA. So how did the change of scenery affect the recording process, writing and recording process?
I think the main thing that going to LA to make the record did was just focus us. I think when we made Chase Us Light and Invented in our home studio in Tempe, and there's a lot of really great things about working in your own space and working in your hometown. But it's also kind of like there's almost so much freedom owning your own space that it can be sort of to your detriment. If things aren't going well one day, you can just say, well, screw it, we're just gonna go home and we'll hit it tomorrow. Whereas when we were in LA, we had 30 days to finish the album. So we have like a start and end time, and we have to get everything done in that time. So it's like there's that pressure to push through and focus and sort of eat, sleep, breathe this album.
Yeah. So was that like pressure you put upon yourselves, or was that label pressure?
Well, we didn't have a label when we were making the record, so it was something we felt like would be a good idea. And it wasn't like it was a totally pressure-filled experience. It just there is just a sort of level of focus you get when you leave your home, you're living in some like apartment, and you're waking up in the morning, you're going to the studio, and then late at night you're coming home and going to sleep, and you're kind of like, that's all you're really doing, that's all you're really worrying about. So it's just a heightened focus.
So this album was sort of interesting. It was unique for you because you had sort of a hybrid recording process with usually analog and digital. Like with films like Sound City and that sort of thing, do you think it's more of like using analog to record is it more of a passing trend, or does it have a place in this world?
I think it doesn't really, like, in the end, what medium you use doesn't really matter all that much. The cool thing about tape, at least for me, like, we recorded all the drums to tape on this album. So for me, it was, and we also decided we're going to record all the drums to tape, and we're not going to do any kind of editing. There's going to be no, there's going to be no sort of moving things around and fixing mistakes. It was like, what you play is what's going to be on the song. And so I really enjoyed that, because it was like a challenge for me to really, focus on my playing and to make sure that I'm playing as well as I could be. And it's kind of like being on the trapeze without a net. It's like you're there's no fixing it later. You have to deliver in the moment. And, so I really like that. I actually prefer that. But I mean, you can do that with computers. But it's just, it's like, it's just on how you use it, And I think we recorded a lot of things onto computer as well on this album, but we sort of treated the computer as a tape machine, not as like an editing. Yeah. Not as like a situation where we're editing everything.
So at 8 albums in, do you feel like you owe it to your fans to challenge their perceptions of what you're supposed to sound like?
No, I think for us at least, just coming from a creative place, we don't owe anything to our fans. I think the best thing we can do for our fans is to do stuff that we're interested in, that that we're making music that we feel is good and that we like, and not really try to chase a kind of like the approval of our fans,
Yeah.
So, when we make records, we try to ignore that kind of impulse to like, satisfy what our fans might want. On the other hand, like live shows, we feel like that's where we really want to seek to like, please the fans, like play the songs that they want to hear and like entertain them, But when we're making records, we try to kind of just focus on what's interesting to us, what do we like, and we go from there.